this is important now, that there are other factors beyond your effort that determine the state of a relationship.
Come on.
And so, this phrase, it takes two to tango, right? So for relationships to be healthy, it takes two. But what the scriptures are saying is, hey, you can't control what another person does. But you can control and what God's going to hold you accountable for. And what God's going to respond to you regarding is how you obeyed, not how they responded to your obedience. Because there are times when a person's trauma and their tendencies make it impossible for a relationship to exist peacefully.
That's good. Pastor, I used to tell people all the time, I said, when it comes to us being personal responsible for what we're responsible for, I like, hey, God may get you for not doing it, but he's not going to get me for not telling it. So I'm going to tell you.
Yes, I'm going to tell you. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to control what I'm supposed to control. Now, what you do with it, and I think sometimes we tie our obedience into people's response. Like
100%.
Yeah, like
of course.
Yeah, and so now I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
Of course. Yeah.
You do with it what you want.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna drop the mail out now. You can throw it away, you can do what you want.
I've seen it. So I've seen this was a while ago, it might have been last year. I think I might have been somewhere, and we were having Sunday dinner, and I think I just flew in from somewhere. So I might have flown in from Jersey. And so I flew in at the house, and so Pastor Shamika brought my plate. She had fixed my plate and brought my plate to the table or whatever. So we had a friend over the house, and she was like, "Oh, let me get this because people need to see this or whatever." It's whatever. It's what we do. So she brought the plate or whatever, and then the person filmed it, and then they posted it on her stuff. So the comment section of that was so interesting to me. It was so interesting to me. It's one of the reasons. Well, I won't even say that. That's inappropriate. But it is. It's very telling. I can say that it's very telling. Sometimes people's out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and sometimes the mouth is showing what is actually in the heart, and sometimes the heart, what's in a person's heart, is an expression of why they are where they are. In life, it's kind of like, oh, that's kind of why you are where you are. we see, it's like, we need, I don't know if God's going to, yeah. Anyway, so it was so interesting, right? Because some of the comments was like, I used to do all of that, and my man still da-da-da-da. And we're like, well, one, that's your man. That's number one, number one. That's your man. You do all that, and then number two, she wasn't telling you what to do. She was just showing you what she did.
Come on,
right? You don't have to do it. Somebody said, I remember this one comment stuck out to me. I wouldn't even want a man who want me to fix his plate. And I'm gonna tell you, here's my. See, this is not Thrive appropriate. What I'm about to say is podcasting, because this is kind of spiritual. I wouldn't even want a man that want me to fix bad. I was thinking you probably don't. You probably not gonna have that problem.
You got to worry about it.
You probably don't have to worry about it.
Set that off your list.
Yeah.
You got to worry about it.
That's with that attitude. That's probably something you. I don't want you to stress about that, because that's probably not gonna be. That's probably not gonna be your issue. We all got some that might not be one of yours. But the idea is hey, here's what God instructs me to do.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm responsible for my obedience, even if I feel like my obedience is not rendering the outcome that I would desire. I got resolve, so my obedience isn't conditional, right? My commitment is not a conditional commitment. It's think about the Hebrew boys and what would have happened if their commitment had conditions to an outcome.
My God.
Their declaration was, I want you to see their resolve. Our God is able, and our God will deliver. But even if he doesn't, we still will not bow down.
Come on.
They said, in essence, they're saying, hey, we've made a decision who we're going to be. We're going to be men of God. We've made that decision.
Yeah.
And we're not going to allow who you are to change who we are.
I love it.
Does that make sense?
That's good. Yes, Pastor.
And I think that's what to do. The enemy will, that's where the enemy works. He'll use the lack of receptivity or appreciation from others, or he'll use the absence of a desired outcome to demotivate us from obeying God in the future.
Yeah.
Because we'll say, I did all of that and it didn't work. And if I do it and it doesn't work and I stop, what that does is that doesn't expose God, that exposes me.
Yeah.
That's what it does. It exposes why. It exposes why we probably need to do some work, because it exposed that, you had a commitment that was conditional. This was not about obeying God for you. This was about an outcome. And we need to get the outcome that you wanted.
Yeah.
Now you change your behavior.